to cut the phone on. Break my lease so I can move, cause you a bugaboo, a bugaboo.
Oh, Antoinette said something.
Teasley?
Briggs.
Why was she at the VA?
She works there.
As a nurse?
She's a she was when I first saw Antoinette there, when I first started in community care, she was a coder. She has since got another position, but but now she has to come in 2 days out the week, and she was coming in today for training. So I'm sitting there eating in the break room eating lunch. And somebody go, "Hey, how you doing?" And I look up, and she didn't realize it was me. And I'm like, "Oh, okay." I said, "What's up, Antoinette? Long time no see." She's like, "Oh shit, Dre, what's going on?" She's like, "I didn't realize that was you." I'm like, "Huh."
Wow. Jared, some people don't recognize you. Like, you don't have to be an ass. Hello.
I was messing with her.
He's such a dick sometimes. I hope everybody had a good day today. Tay is he's my numero uno top commenter of the day. So shout out to you, Tay, for being in here first. He was here at 9:01, as was Kenny, Aaliyah, and as always, Kayla is my honorary top commenter of the day. Okay, two of my moderators are here. Yes, yes, they are. Hold on a second. Hold, please. Hold, please. All right. You call me on the phone, you're bugging me. Everywhere I'm out, you're bugging me. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. I hope you guys had a good night, and I hope you have an even better day. Okay? Alrighty. So, hello to everybody in here. Hello, Hiram is here. So, I have three moderators here today. Hello, Hiram. How are you? Nika is here. Aaliyah is here. Kenny said, I'm here. I'll just be in and out talking to Philly. Okay, babe. Okay, babe. No problem. Um, hello, Janelle. Alrighty. Hello, James. How are you? Kayla says I had sort of a good day because I just found out a few hours ago that my maternal grand uncle died today. I'm very sorry to hear that.
No.
That's very sad. I'm very sorry to hear that. My condolences to you and your family. Um, yeah. Hello, Pierre. How are you? Hiram said, I'm doing good, had to take a break because I went through a breakup. I understand, Hiram, no worries. And I'm sorry to hear that. Kayla, hope you had a great day too. Sorry I haven't been here. I've been busy. No worries. I miss my regs, but I understand that y'all have lives, so don't worry about it. We are good. All right, so I promised you guys today that we would do a full hour of nothing but wrestling. So, whatever you guys want to talk about wrestling wise, I am very much open to hearing. I will go over Money in the Bank with you again today. Great American Bash is coming up. We also have All In from AEW coming up, which is also going to be in London. A lot of wrestling events taking place in London, eh? So you guys let me know what you guys want to talk about. I'll give you guys 30 seconds to put it in the comments box. I'm going to put you guys' comments up there, but I'll give you guys some time to let me know what you want to talk about wrestling wise, and we'll get into it. I got a couple of things from Icy Brazy in my DMs, but you guys let me know in the comments what you want to talk about. I'll give you 30 seconds. Okay, so I'm going to start off with money in the bank. Okay, we're going to start off there, and then you guys can chime in the comments on your own. Yes. Oh, that's a lot of messages. I can't. Anyways, let me go and double check this chat right quick and clear out all these messages. Ooh, a lot of messages. Oh wow, I missed a lot. Anyways, let's talk about the qualifying matches for Money in the Bank, and then we'll move into some stuff that you guys want to talk about. Yes, very good. Now, according to Uncle Trip, and of course WWE and Co. The qualifying matches have already happened, but there are a few more that are going to happen on Fridays. And it looks like WWE is going to switch off between the men and the women until we get to the final week, which I think will be a last chance Money in the Bank qualifying match. Right now, we have several people who have qualified for the Money in the Bank. Ricochet qualified for Money in the Bank, and Shinsuke Nakamura for the men have qualified for Money in the Bank. Next week on Monday, we're going to have two women's qualifier matches. Natalia will take on Zoe Stark, and of course, Becky Lynch will take on Sonya Deville. Now, I've already made my predictions about these matches. I don't think these two will be in the Money in the Bank. I think that Zoe's going to lose her match, and I think that Becky is going to lose hers. And I definitely think that Sonya and Natalia both will be in the Money in the Bank for the women. Now, this coming Friday, there's another women's qualifier match. You're going to have Zelina Vega going up against Lacey Evans, which I imagine Zelina Vega will probably be the one to get in on this match. And for the men, this one is a unique one because I love both of these guys and I wouldn't mind either of them being in the Money in the Bank, but I really, really, really wanted Montez and LA Knight to both be in Money in the Bank. But it seems that that may or may not be the case. Like I said, they always have some type of last chance opportunity that they do allow the people to compete again for that final spot in the Money in the Bank ladder match. But I'm not sure if they're going to do that this year or not. However, I am glad that Montez Ford is getting an opportunity to shine. And of course, I'm always glad and happy to see the loudmouth LA Knight. So we'll have to wait and see how that's going to play out. But I'm going to say that LA Knight's probably going to go over Montez Ford in this match. And as I said before, I think Zelina Vega is going to be in that match. So my prediction is, as of right now, with the Money in the Bank possibilities and the current Money in the Bank entrance, you're going to have Shinsuke Nakamura. You wash him up now? You're going to have Shinsuke Nakamura, Ricochet, and LA Knight for the men. And you're going to have Zelina Vega, Natalia, and Sonya Deville for the women. What do you guys think? What's wrong, Tay? Yeah, you got to get in the shower first. Can you get your towel and your rag and get your clean clothes together, please? Oh, she said, if y'all don't tell Tiff's dad happy birthday, I'm going to beat your ass. Today is officially my daddy's birthday. He is 60 years old. So I am very glad that my daddy is still here with me. I have both my parents. So if y'all tell my father happy birthday, I very much appreciate it. Thank you so much. Um, he gonna live a long time, Lord willing. Thank you, Ali. I appreciate that. If Sonya gets it, so does Chelsea, and we have our money in the bank winners. I mean, I guess if you want to see it that way, that's fine. Hello, Rico. How are you? Thank you, Tay. Thank you, Kayla. Thank you, Pierre. And thank you, Brandy. I'll make sure he knows that you guys told him happy birthday. All right. So, what do you guys think about Money in the Bank and my predictions of who's going to be currently the three people into the Money in the Bank ladder matches? What are you in there doing? Did you find one? Okay. I got a question for the whole chat. I'm going to give y'all time to answer it. Do y'all think Bianca's going to be in Money in the Bank? Do y'all think she's entering into the ladder match for Money in the Bank and winning that briefcase? Hmm. Kenny said Tiff never missed with the predictions. I tried, Kenny. Between you and Nicole, y'all be having me beat down. Y'all be having me beat down. Okay. I agree with the Zelina pick and LA Knight. Very good. Brandy agrees. James agrees as well. I think she gonna enter the day of Money in the Bank. Really? Or you don't think she's gonna win it? Okay. Hmm. Maybe like last or second to last entrant. Okay, very good. I would love it. I love it if she wins in this Money in the Bank match. I don't know. I would love it if she was in the Money in the Bank match. I don't know about winning. Well, y'all are the ones who all are all about a story, right? And that from what I understood, y'all wanted Bianca to be a heel. What better way than for her to get heat than to win Money in the Bank and shove it in everybody's faces? I mean, I was just saying. I'm sticking with Chelsea, so Sonya and LA Knight. Okay. Hold tight, y'all. Okay. She said, if Bianca get that briefcase, I'ma cackle because the good old boy's finna cry about it. Oh, let me tell y'all about what happened to me on TikTok. So let me see if I can pull this shit up for y'all right now because this shit is crazy. Okay. I honestly did not expect. Hold on a second. All right. So I had to log into my TikTok right quick. She would have all the TikTok drama come up right when I'm getting ready to show y'all something. Okay. So I want y'all to see what I've been seeing for the last couple of days. Okay. So hold on, because I have to log into the right TikTok to show y'all what I'm talking about. So let me save Brittany's TikTok here and let's log out. Let's go to dark mode, log out. Sorrows Press. I was watching Bridgerton today, the Queen's episode, and it was pretty fucking good. Queen Charlotte is what I was watching today. I was gonna listen to the podcast that Johnny had sent me, but can you give me the charger for my phone? It's on the floor. Tay in the shower. Okay. All right, y'all. So I posted the video for um Jade's performance or her entrance at AEW's Double or Nothing. And I didn't think anything of it. I posted it and I went to sleep because usually I don't get any more than 1,000 views on my TikTok videos anyway. So it didn't really matter to me. But let me show y'all what actually happened when I actually posted this. Okay, so let me see if y'all can see this. All right. So y'all can see the TikTok screen. Um, Let me go ahead and move her up just a tad so y'all can see what I'm seeing. All right. So, babes, listen. I posted this video because I wanted to see exactly. I wanted to see, I wanted everybody to see Jade do her best, and really shine. And I hadn't posted Bianca's. I thought I did, but I didn't. So I'm gonna go to my profile so you guys can see how this did. All right. So over here on TikTok, first of all, it's got there was no actions being performed in this video that needed this type of warning on it. So that's weird in itself. But it has 154,000 views on it. But this isn't what I want you to see because it's not even my video. To be honest, this is. Hold on a second, because I really need y'all to see the actual. Okay, so y'all can see the comment section over here, right? Right? We're all in this together, okay? Now this comment section is ridiculous. I can't stress that enough how crazy this comment section is. For whatever reason, this person was very much in their feelings when I posted this. And so this comment alone has 47,000 responses. 47,000 responses. The comment says, another black female wrestler in the other company did it 200% better. I legitimately was just like, it's really not that big of a deal. It's wrestling, like relax. Let me see if it'll pull it up by the comments. Okay, so let me go to the comments. TikTok on the computer is weird. There is no scrolling button. But what I did was I posted a response to this person because I felt like it warranted a response. Um, I said that I was well aware of Bianca. I love and respect her down. I'm allowed to celebrate all black women. I am myself a black woman. And then here they come, being mad disrespectful, getting all in their feelings, yelling and screaming in the comments like a weirdo, which I was confused about. Like, I just did not understand it. They said, bless you, babe.
Right.
I didn't understand it. I was very confused by it. I was like, why are you like in your feelings? You know, like, why are you so upset? And they were like, because I didn't say all of that. And here you come talking about, ain't nobody talking about race. And I'm like, girl, take a deep breath, relax, honey, chill. I never said you came down hard on me. I never said anything like that. I didn't say anything with any malice or any anger. That was all you, baby. That was all you. You're constantly in a state of defense. Are we clean? Did you put on deodorant?
Okay. Let's see, Papa.
Anyways, I the comments that this post got on TikTok with Jade is absolutely ridiculous. They called that girl everything from a man to they said she was a terrible wrestler. They said she was horrible. Somebody wished death on her, which I had to block them. I've never seen such a visceral response to one person before in my life. What happened to the tissue that was in there?
I don't know.
It should be tissue on the back of the toilet. Anyways, get him his stuff. Thank you. Anyways, y'all, it was bad. I've never seen anything like that before in my life, and I honestly was shocked that they was saying so. And people just say some of the ugliest things, and what really made it really bad was the fact that they didn't understand what they were watching, so they immediately discredited. And it was a lot of comments calling it ghetto, saying she was ghetto. Like, what is this? She's ghetto. She's this. She's that. I'm like, this is called stepping. This is what the sorors and the frat brothers do. She's an AKA. They are the oldest African American soror organization in the world. Some respect here is due. Just because y'all ain't got no rhythm
Right.
and you don't understand the culture doesn't mean you have the right to disrespect it. Like, it's just so weird. Nobody talks shit about you. Run around here with your Irish jigs and shit. We let you live your best life. Let us live ours, bitch. Goodness. Anyways, I had to tell y'all that because that really pissed me off. I saw the comments and I'm like, God damn, like if I was like famous, I would be so fucking mad all the time. I really would. Anyways, sir, let's get on to Roman and his merry band of idiots. So Roman Reigns obviously is not going to be in the best of moods this Friday on SmackDown. He most definitely is going to be angry about not capturing those championships, but more specifically about his cousins costing him those championships. And everything that Sammy said has come to pass. You know, Sammy basically told him that everything that has happened has been his fault and it will always be his fault. He is the reason why his family is in shambles. He is the reason why his cousins no longer have the tag team titles. And he is the reason why the bloodline has imploded. Nobody is to blame but Roman. So one has to ask, what is Roman going to do? I mean, he's already surpassed 1,000 days as champion, and now on Friday he is set to celebrate those 1,000 days. As I said, one has to ask, how is he going to be moving on Friday? I would imagine he wouldn't be a happy camper, but Roman couldn't be so stupid as to show his whole card right out the bat, would he? I don't know, but I see Jimmy Uso being one that goes up against Roman, probably at Money in the Bank. I don't think it'll be for those championships, but it could be Jimmy and Jay Uso versus Roman and Solo. It could be any number of combination of things at Money in the Bank that we will get. But Roman is scheduled to compete or at least be present at the next couple of SmackDowns and Money in the Bank. And he is scheduled all the way out past SummerSlam for him to be at the show. So who knows? A lot of you may be hoping for Roman Reigns to drop those titles at SummerSlam, but I'm going to be honest. I don't think that he will. SummerSlam marks his 3 years, solidifies him at 3 years of a championship reign. 3 years ago is when he won the championship at SummerSlam. So I don't think Roman's going to lose it on that night either. He very well may. It's possible, but I'm not even gonna think about it or even care because at this point, with the way Triple H moves and works, you never know what he's going to do or what he's up to. So I would just say instead of guessing, we just wait it out and see where everything goes. I wonder if the invite has been denied. I would imagine it would be. All I know is when it comes to Money in the Bank is that I want the baddest heifers on that flow. Depends on what you describe as the baddest heifers. Who would that entail? What if Charlotte enters last? I don't think Charlotte's going to enter into the Money in the Bank this year. Although it would be interesting. Charlotte has never competed in Money in the Bank. She is usually gone, or she is always champion around that time, or she's challenging to be champion around that time. So Charlotte never really competes in Money in the Bank. However, I wouldn't be mad about it. Charlotte competing in one Money in the Bank would be fine with me. I like Charlotte, so I don't have an issue with that. And I understand a lot of people like Money in the Bank to be a building block for a lot of superstars. But even in that, you have to make that match be balanced enough with enough builders and enough pillars for that match to be worthy of being watched. If the match only consisted of people like Sonya Deville, Chelsea, Shotzi, Raquel, um, if Dakota Kai wasn't injured, Dakota, Tegan, and like a few others, you really wouldn't be interested in that match too much. But if you throw people in there like Io Sky, Zelina Vega, you put in there somebody like Sonya Deville again, you put Becky, you put maybe Charlotte and maybe a Bianca in there, you got a nice mix of big time superstars, former champions, and people who could possibly be champion given this opportunity in this match. So I'd rather it go that way than to, you know, completely give it to stars and then completely give it to um, people who haven't gotten there yet. Randy said, child, at this point, I'll just believe it when I see it when it comes to Roman losing because I'm tired. Well, fair. I'm not going to even argue with you on that one. Did Charlotte complete in the first Miss Money in the Bank? Yes, she did. 2017 and 2018. Okay. What was the point of that? Okay. I don't remember Charlotte competing in any Money in the Bank match, but I mean, if she did, sure. I don't remember her competing in Money in the Bank at all. Because from my understanding, every time that she was champion, there was a Money in the Bank match. She would be champion around that time. At least that's what I can remember. I don't remember that at all. Doesn't mean it's not true. It just means I don't remember it. Well, I knew that was on the cover of Money in the Bank that year. That's cool. I forgot Baron Corbin used to be US champ. That's crazy. Okay, so it was Charlotte, Becky, Natalia, and Tamina. Naomi was champion for the SmackDown Championship at the time, and she beat Lana by submission. It took 9 minutes and 30 seconds to do that match. I thought it was shorter than that. I mean, okay. Like I said, just because I don't remember it doesn't mean it didn't happen. Simply means I don't remember it. Like that ass, I just don't remember it. Mm-mm, 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 mm-mm. Um. Okay. Charlie was in the first one, and she was in the second one. Yeah, it was only two that she competed in that I can remember. The 2017, 2018. Ever since then, she did not compete in the last 2019. She wasn't in that one. Give me stuff.
Yeah, he ain't.
Okay. 2019, 2020, 22, and 21, I believe. 21. Nope. 2019, 2021, 22, and of course, possibly this year. She did not compete in Money in the Bank since 2018. So she only competed in two. She didn't compete in three. Unless you count the second one, which I don't because it was they redid it. I don't really count it as two, so she only competed in two. But if you count it, that's your business. She competed in the first one, and then she competed in that second one because after the first Money in the Bank, Charlotte became champion, and then Carmella cashed in on her, and that's how Carmella became champion because she had that breast implant situation. That's what got her out to be able after the Iconics beat her down. Carmella went and cashed in on her, and that's how she got to be champion. But I just did not remember her competing in both of those Money in the Banks. I just don't remember it. Hello, Quan. I mean, I remember Naomi being champion. I just didn't remember Charlotte competing because I'm so used to her being champion or competing for the championship around that time that it just became normal shit for her to be champion, you know? Anywhoosie. Moving on. What do you guys want to talk about? Nothing. Everything. Something. Nothing. I'll let you decide. Otherwise, we're going to move into current events because we can't talk about wrestling forever. All the pretty girls walk like this. Big boss big. I mean, you know.
Yep.
Oh man. Ooh, Ted DiBiase Jr. getting 120 years, possibly in prison, child. Anyways, so I see Brazy sent me a couple of stuff that he wanted to discuss. Okay. So I'm gonna post it in here. And I will be right back. So who are your picks for Money in the Bank? Can't give you any picks for Money in the Bank. Money in the Bank has not been picked yet. I did do a picking of who I thought was going to win these matches, which I'll tell you in just a second. So hold tight. I shall return. Excuse me. Still don't know my words, still stressing perfection. Let you all in my mental, got me looking too desperate. Damn, you ain't deserve.
I've been losing friends and finding peace. Honestly, that sound like a fair trade to me. Rolling 80 wheels in a city. Riding on you. Gotta roll over to you, gotta give and release. Spread your legs downtown, so I'm going up the heat. Hit the raw sounds when I rock up in your weed. I'ma roll on the forever, let her roll on me. Split this one down the middle, wake up in harmony.
Eclipse.
Okie dokie. So, everybody in the comments, it says pick the greatest heels out of each row going across. So, we're going to start off with each row going across, and you guys pick the best heels in that row. Okay? Dominic, Reigns, and MJF. If y'all, any of y'all pick Dominic, you're out of your fucking minds. And we're not even gonna go there. So obviously, the choice in the top row would be Roman Reigns. Like, argue with your mama. Y'all out of your minds. Nope, I disagree. I disagree wholeheartedly. It is not MJF, it's Roman. 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 You've gone mad, I tell you, mad. They'll lock you away. They'll put you in a jail cell. Roman, take your medicine and heed your mother's warning. Roman, please. His own mama don't like him, and she raised him. So what they got to do with him being a better heel than Roman Reigns? That don't mean nothing. That just mean he a piece of shit. Okay, Kayla. Well, 3 outweighs 2. So Roman is my pick and MJF is some of y'all's pick. So the next row is Rollins, Lesnar, and Orton. I'm going Randy Orton. Um, Randy Orton is a little lost in the sauce. He a little crazy. He a little crazy. I'm gonna go Orton. He's done some sinister shit. Randall has lost his ever loving mind. I used to love listening to JR go, oh, that sick son of a bitch. I used to love that. That was awesome. Randy. That's my brother-in-law we're calling. All right. So we got Lesnar, Randall, Orton, and Randy. Randy is the majority winner of the second row. In the third row, we have The Miz, Triple H, and Corbin. I'm going to go with Triple H. Yep. I'm going to go with Triple H. Not Kratos. Finally. I got these 3 votes on this fashion game. Miz, he's a horrible heel, but he wasn't as bad as Triple H was. Anybody that puts a bounty on a man's head so he doesn't have to wrestle him is fucking menace to society and should be shot by firing range. Triple H was doing some dirty shit back in the day. When you really go back and watch his shit and really look at his career, bitch, he was outside of his mind as well. Kratos, Triple H, The Miz. Oh yeah, a couple of Miz's. I was surprised Donnie ain't in here talking shit, but he might be sleeping. Anywho's these final row. Yeah, he is. So I just let him stay there. Um, CM Punk, Edge, and Christian definitely is Edge. Like CM Punk wasn't even close to Edge or Christian. Christian wasn't that bad, but Edge, he was in a league all by himself. That's some of these people are his sons, so definitely are. So I would say most definitely Edge on that one. Um this one I don't like, so I'm not gonna do. It requires counting, and I'm not doing it. So this TikTok I will play though, but I'm not doing the other one. Sorry, Icy Brazy, I just don't like it. So I'm not doing it.
Okay. Based on Mike's skills alone, here's the scenario. You just committed a crime, and you need to hire one of these four men to persuade a jury to get you off. Who do you hire?
So the four men, let's put it back up there so you can see it again.
Okay. Based on Mike's skills alone, here's the scenario. You just committed a crime, and you need to hire one of these four men to persuade a jury to get you off. Who do you hire?
This is a two-fold question for me. So you have The Rock, John Cena, Paul Heyman, and Roddy Piper. If I was guilty, I would probably go for Roddy Piper or Paul Heyman. If I was innocent, I would want John Cena to be my lawyer. Um, those are the only viable options, and the only reason why I left The Rock out is because I feel like The Rock would make fun of the people on the stand and wouldn't really, and he'd be more about like making himself look good rather than getting me off the hook, if that makes sense. Roddy Piper would ask the hard questions, true enough, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like if I was guilty, Roddy Piper would be my guy. But you need a greasy slime ball like guy in your corner if you guilty. So I'm gonna go with Paul Heyman overall. But if I was like 100% innocent and John Cena was one of the guys that could speak on my behalf, like in character, it'd be John Cena all the way. Like if I just needed to get off, I would definitely pick Paul Heyman because like Paul Heyman just has that sleazy, greasy lawyer type of look. You know what I'm talking about? Like he'll steal the money off the top and then say you didn't pay him. You know what I'm saying? He's a dirty motherfucker. Like he's done some dirty shit in his day. When Christian spit in Randy's face, he deserved that whooping until the end of time. I forgot all about that. I'm definitely hiring Heyman, Paul. Everybody hiring Paul. Heyman, Paul. I don't know because I'm out here thinking about doing crimes. Wow, that makes a lot of sense. That makes perfect sense. I'm just sitting here like I'm just that's all I got. I have no more. It hurts. It hurts. No more. Oh, these feathers are fire. They're gonna put me up against this bitch. Really? Y'all trash. Hate this fucking game. Fuck this game. Hi, Nicole. Hi, Tirza. As a lawyer, I hired Paul. He's a slime ball, so I can understand that. Please look at the tweet I sent in the chat. She said he's a really great storyteller and with the great word and great with words, so his closing argument would be very persuasive. Understandable. Let me go look in the chat and see this tweet that Nicole was talking about. You're on a sign. The fact that Larry the Lobster's grandpa and paper mache. The fact that Larry the Lobster's grandpa and paper mache neck is on the same team is sending me. What is happening on AEW Dynamite? Paul wakes up in a vat of oil. Fair. Nicole, why did you tweet this? You are so ignorant. I haven't watched Dynamite in a while, and I'm happy with it that way because I be so confused sometimes. You know, like sometimes you can stop watching WWE, and when you pop back in, you might be a little bit lost, but you're not too lost. You know what I mean? Like I just be wanting to understand what I be watching. I'm gonna beat Janae ass. Yes, he would be Chris Jericho. I just want to know who the neck dude is because I haven't watched it in so long. I generally don't know, and usually I do know who she referring to. Only person's neck I know is messed up. Matt Hardy neck messed up. So was Jeff's. Oh, it's Soraya. It's Soraya. Okay, look. Soraya is upset. It's Chris Jericho and Soraya. So Soraya and Jericho are all in their feelings about Ricky Starks, I think. And who is it, Nicole? Is it Ricky Starks and Britt Baker? Carmella's revealing the gender on the Tamron Hall show. I thought she was just gonna have a gender reveal. She's gonna reveal it on Tamron Hall's show. Wow. Mm-hmm. Is Gerard there? I seen basketball TikTok. I wanted his opinion on it. I figured it was Ricky Starks and Britt Baker. Okay. I'm so glad for Carmella. Um Usually, like I said yesterday, I do not be in the wrestler's personal business, but Carmella involved us in hers when she gave the info about the ectopic pregnancy and everything she had been going through with struggling to get pregnant and getting pregnant and having to suffer those losses. So that is the only reason why I generally give Carmella all the praise in the world and uplift her and talk about her because like the situation with her and Corey had been dire for a long time. Well, Nicole called it. She's having a boy. Nicole called it. She said she'd be a boy mom. Congratulations to you, Carmella. Now she dramatic. I have no idea. The only person I like in this match is Adam Cole. They were destroying that match between Cole and Chris Jericho at Double or Nothing. Baby, they went in on them. They said it wasn't worth the. Oh, they did not like that match. They did not like that match at Double or Nothing. Okay, Kayla. She said, "Let me go tell my friend congrats." Well, they was shitting on that fucking match for a long time. They did not like that match, honey. They was like, "Oh no, 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 never again, never again. We're not doing this again. Yeah, we're not going to do that again. Right? It's horrible. It was a horrible match. It was terrible. Anyways, oh, that's petty. What else do we have to talk about wrestling wise besides people having babies and everybody thinking Oscar cursing everybody because some people come in contact with her and end up pregnant? That's not necessarily true, but y'all go off on your conspiracy theory tinfoil hats, whatever works for you. Is there anything else to discuss when it comes to regular wrestling? Yes? No? Alrighty then. I'm going to give you 30 seconds. If you still want to talk about something wrestling wise, go ahead and put it in the chat box. I shall return. All right, let's see what you got over here in this chat box. I said about Oscar because it's funny. Do you think Bianca is getting her rematch? I don't know if Bianca's gonna get a rematch. I wouldn't be mad about it if she did. But I don't think that she would win it if she did get the rematch. I'm gonna be honest. Um, I love Bianca. I think Bianca is amazing, especially as a champion. Long term, to me, she never got stale. I thought she was fun to watch. Every opponent she went up against, she was challenging, and they challenged her. She looked great. She presented herself as a champion. She walked, talked, and acted like a champion. I love Bianca as champion. So it was sad to see her lose her title the way that she did, but even the greatest title reigns have to come to an end at some point. And if we are being fair, you know, um, Bianca's got to move into a new space at some point, and eventually she'll get back to the top of the mountain. Maybe she'll be on SmackDown side as champion one day again. I liked Bianca with the blue belt anyway, so it'll be interesting to watch. Did you see Dwayne was getting sued for $3 billion for kidnapping? Yeah, I saw that. I've talked about this lawsuit before. If I recall, it was a couple weeks ago, which I think you weren't here for that live, so you might have missed it. But yeah, I've talked about this. I've also talked about it on our podcast multiple times. There's really not much to it other than he's not the only one who's being named in that lawsuit. There are countless superstars in the WWE, dead and alive, that this woman has named in this lawsuit. It's a frivolous lawsuit. I don't understand why it's going forward in the first place with all the people that she's named, businesses and the entities and people she has named. It's a ridiculous lawsuit. It doesn't bear for me to have a discussion about it anymore, only because I've already talked about it. Unfortunately, you missed those lives, so I'm sorry that you missed them. But yeah, have y'all heard of Rich and Shameless? Oh yeah, that show is about like a bunch of celebrities and very high powered rich people whose empires come crashing down, or the takedown of empires. I haven't watched it yet, but I have been recording like the episodes because last night I got into that Hillsong doc that was on FX. That shit is fucking gnarly. It just came out on the 19th of May, and the 26th of May were the final two episodes of the Secrets of Hillsong documentary on FX. Each episode is an hour and maybe 3 to 4 minutes long. Whoo, that shit was crazy though. It was crazy. So I was watching that, and I got two more episodes of that to get through, and then Rico told me that there was another Hillsong documentary that I needed to watch that was up that I hadn't seen. So I was gonna go and Google that one because this one just came out in May, and I was like, ooh, let me see what this one's about. I'm like, oh, they actually had Carl Lentz in there talking. Like he told his side, and I was like, ooh, wow, okay. They did him all types of dirty. Don't get me wrong, he is not absolved of his behavior, but I'll get into that on my podcast and in depth of how I feel about it. Me being raised in the church the way I was and seeing it like that's fucking gnarly. It was a bit of a whirlwind, but yeah, I've seen that show, Rich and Shameless. She said I haven't heard of it, but it's come on. It's coming on after Dynamite, and it's about Hulk's sex tape. Oh, they're gonna have Hulk's sex tape situation on there. Okay. I don't really know if I want to rehash that shit. I still think that Hulk Hogan was being really fucked up about it in bankrupting Gawker because they weren't the only ones who had the sex tape at the time. It was exclusively given to them. They put it out there, and then everybody else was able to get it through Gawker. And then I remember he sent out that cease and desist, which made people stop selling it and shit. But he exclusively went after Gawker, and I was just like, oh, fucking hell. She's literally mentally unwell. That's the most ridiculous lawsuit I've ever read. Exactly. I just was like, I don't understand how it even got past the episodes. Like, I was just so confused. I was so confused how it even got to go forward. Like, it should have been deaded in the water the moment that they even saw this lawsuit, but they're going through with it. It's weird. Anyways, no need. Don't need to apologize. I see you just didn't know. So I'd already talked about it multiple times, and it's just a ridiculous lawsuit. $3 billion on kidnapping, and the time frame that she's alleging he did this, he was nowhere near her, and she's adding him as a co-conspirator in her kidnapping, and I just don't understand it. She said it was an attempted kidnapping. She named the Miz and Maurice and everybody. Like there was a bunch of people in that lawsuit. He was not the only one, which is why I didn't understand why everybody thought that that was the reason why Disney was dropping everything that they were doing with him. I would imagine it had more to do with the Black Adam shit than it did with this whole lawsuit stuff. Cause they have no problem taking on Ezra Miller, and he's got hella shit going on right now. But live your best life. He said it's the way the mega church I attended had a close relationship with Hillsong. I'm not surprised. I met Carl Lentz too. Not surprised by that either. Which is why I like the doc because it got everyone. Hmm. It's basically the fall of his career. Well, yeah, and then he explained like how he was just overwhelmed. To Carl Lentz's credit, I do feel like he was used. Um, I do think that he attempted to try to make the church more diverse and make the church be more accepting of everyone, but there was a lot of pushback with the powers that be in terms of Brian Houston and his bum ass wife. Um, and I think that's where a lot of the problem came in. I think if Carl was running Hillsong, it might be different. The situation might be different. Um, I think that he was forced to say a lot of things and do a lot of things because that's what was required of him. He did some horrible things, but he was not a bad person. I just think that he was in a position where he felt like there were certain ways he had to walk, talk, sit, and stand in order to maintain the church. And even though it was against what he really believed, he did it anyway because he felt like he owed his life to Brian and Houston. And that's just how I feel about Carl. I understand he was cheating on his wife. That's wrong. But like um nobody's above sin. So like I said, he can be forgiven for that. But it was the way it was handled when it came to Carl and his whole situation. Without Carl Lentz, there was no Hillsong New York. Okay. There was no mega church with a whole like fucking basketball court style church. These motherfuckers was having church in a damn concert building. Okay, like they were going in there 450 people at a time, thousands of people were coming to worship. They were having a 10 to 11 services on a Sunday. They were having church service until at 9 o'clock, starting church service at 9. The line will be wrapped around the fucking building. That's insane. Okay, that's craziness. All right, you're out of your mind. And I think what really messed Carl up is his unrealistic beliefs in this church and what it could do for him in terms of keeping away that that urge to have sex with other people, the urge of, you know, addiction. Like he thought that being married would keep hold him down. Like no, you weren't ready to be married. That's the point. And like you being a young pastor at the time, they don't want you to be single and to be a pastor. And I just find that to be fucking weird. Like if I can come in the church as I am and preach, then how come a man can't be single and be called to preach? I don't get that. Like he can then find his wife as time goes on. Why do I have to be married and have children? Like that doesn't mean that I can't lead. This is the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. But it's not just in those staunch conservative style churches either. That's just church culture, period. They get upset when the pastor doesn't have a spouse in the church and he doesn't present that front of family. Just because the pastor is not married doesn't mean that he can't be called on by God to preach. That just doesn't, it doesn't mean that. There have been plenty of single pastors who have preached and done amazing jobs as pastors, and they found their wives and ended up having amazing relationships and live their lives out the way that they should have. That ideal or that cookie cutter perfection bullshit that they're trying to sell is dumb, and it's just not realistic. It's not realistic at all. And none of them meet those standards because you know what happens? Do you know what happens to people who try to box themselves in to these little bitty tiny squares of we have to be perfect, we have to live right? They end up developing some type of perversion, or they end up doing weirdo shit like essaying people. Like we've seen it happen so many times. It's horrible. And then Nicole mentioned in the comments, she's right. He was essayed by a family friend when he was a child. So he has a skewed idea of what sex is and how it's supposed to work. And that can manipulate and warp the mind as to what you're supposed to do. He was taken advantage of, is the best way to explain it. Carl Lentz is charismatic, he's funny, he has a great way of delivering the word, he has a very good understanding of it. But I think that his also the way that he was taught the word to be is wrong. And I think that oftentimes the interpretation of the Bible, when it comes to some people, they are always quoting something, but they don't really understand what they're quoting. The theologist that was used in this documentary said it really well when he said that oftentimes the interpretation of the Bible is off because of the time frame that they were living in. Things mean different things because of that. And you have to have a better interpretation of the Bible in order to understand it. You can't just read it as is. You have to have references. You have to have books. You have to have something to help guide you through this booklet so that you can understand what you're reading. Now, while the Bible is older and times have changed, there has been no updates to it, obviously, but it doesn't cover everything that is happening in the world. But there are things that have happened that happen after the Bible has come out. Like trans people have existed for years. People like to think that this is a new concept and that things aren't what it is, and they're like, oh well, they just shoving this down our throats. No, that's not what's happening. That's not what's happening at all. These people are now wanting to be seen and represented, and just like LGBTQ and everyone else, they want to be seen, they want to be represented. They're no longer hiding in the shadows, is all that is happening. And a lot of people are upset too, to segue into something else. A lot of people are upset too about Target and their inclusion clothing shit. And the thing is, it's like, bitch, you don't have to buy it. Like, what do you think you're gonna do when you walk inside a store? Like, what baffled me is like they're like, I'm never shopping there again. Bitch, you are. You and your basic bitch Juicy Couture sweatpants are gonna walk your stankin' ass with your dirty ass flip-flops back into Walmart so you can go buy those dollar dishes and that fucked up ass coochie cleaning shit that you can find in there, because it's so hip to shop in Target. Like, I went to Target the other day and I felt so rich. You're definitely going back in Target, you basic bitch. Okay, we all know you're gonna do it. We all know you're not gonna go back to Walmart, which is where you belong with the rest of the weirdos. You're not gonna go back there though. You're gonna take your ass into Target and go get you a frappe, a strawberry frappe, and walk around Target in your dirty ass flip flops, looking down on everybody else, knowing you haven't washed your ass in about 3 days. And you're worried about clothes in there that have nothing to do with you. You don't have to buy it. That's the point. If you don't like it, don't buy it. You don't have to shop there. You don't have to buy the shit. It's just fucking stupid. It's the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. It's just dumb. Let me go to y'all comments. Hold on. She said, I felt for Carl. Yes, he did some trash things, but he's not a bad person. I agree. I do think he's a little bit manipulative, though. But I don't think he was doing it. I don't think he was doing it with malice. But I do think he was a little bit manipulative, and all that fame was going to his head a little bit. I do believe that. But I don't think he's a bad person. I think he just got caught up in something that he could not get himself out of. And he ended up hurting his wife in the end, which she was hurt. She was devastated. And I felt so bad for Laura Lentz because she didn't do anything wrong. She didn't do anything. And that church turned their back on them so damn fast. Oh, they turned their back on them so damn fast. Them other folks higher up in the Hillsong, those are the real villains. Facts. Yeah, the documentary I saw was made before this one, and it talked about a lot of the same things, but it went into more detail of their college, and the woman Carl had an affair with was interviewed. And they interviewed the leaders from their branch in Ukraine too. I saw the college. They did mention the college in this particular episode of The Secrets of Hillsong. They did mention the college in there, and it's a very sexist place. Like, they made sure that the white men graduated and were able to be placed as leaders inside the church. But when you were a person of color and a female, you were made to be a nanny or a volunteer, even though you had a certification to be able to do leadership and worship. They were not allowing the women to do that. Like the whole point of Brian Houston's wife was to teach the other wives how to be wives and just be supporting characters to these pastors. And like all you were supposed to do is, stand there, look pretty, dress conservative, don't put your titties out there, bring your kids out there like they some goddamn props. These people are just weirdos to me. And he was SA'd and never got therapy for it. He definitely didn't. Okay, Ken. And it also goes more into detail about the sexual abuse in the U.S. churches. Ciao. I remember Adrian Byline was talking about him, the church on the real, when he was cheating out when his cheating allegations first came out, and she went into this whole song and dance, even crying, talking about how her going to Hillsong reconnected her with her faith and the church, and him cheating on his wife doesn't change that. And I'm like, girl, yeah, I don't think he's a terrible person. I hope he's healed enough and can eventually go back to his calling in a sense. I agree. I think he was a great pastor. I just think he needs to have a better way of doing it. And I think he can recover from that. But like you can fall from grace and still teach people how to get back up from it. That's kind of the point of you being human. And I think the problem is a lot of people expect pastors to be these perfect human beings. They're not going to be perfect. They're going to fuck up. The point is when you fall, you're not supposed to then make that same mistake, but you're supposed to move forward and show others how to walk in your faith and do it with your head held high despite the shortcomings, because you're not Jesus. You're not God. You're a human being. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to fail at things. That is the beauty of you being a human being. That's how you can be a great leader, is showing them that failure is okay and that this is where you go from here. That's not a hard thing to do. As far as Adrian Byline goes, I don't know why she was crying. I don't understand that. But I mean, I guess she felt really a sense of connection to Carl Lentz, which a lot of people did. So I'm not quite understanding. Maybe I'm just not as emotional as Adrian is, but whatever. Um, I would say this. I mean, I feel like she was trying to make that all about herself when in reality she should have been focusing on the conversation at hand. He cheated on his wife, true enough, and that's bad. Nobody's negating that, but that had nothing to do with the ministry. Now, if his ministry was about marriages and being married and loving on your wife and not, and holding yourself to conviction so that you covet your wife's heart and her mind and her body, and he failed at that, then that's a way for him to teach his parishioners how you can try to come back from that. But that's up to him, you know. Ooh, that video of that bitch in the Target section talking about they stealing Pride bathing suits, selling Pride bathing suits to children, and people pulled the receipts on her ass that showed they were adult suits. She moved. Oh, child, because he's a damn cheater, but he was the only Hillsong leader trying to make a way for diverse voices and faces within leadership. He definitely was. And then Nate was cutting him off at the knees every single time. She said, "Who the hell is Carl?" We're talking about the Hillsong Church doc. Very good. Oh, the cult. I'm not a church person at all. I feel a lot of their beliefs are judgmental, hypocritical, and a lot of other things, and I just don't and can't ever fuck with. I do believe in God and in a higher power, and I can pray and worship if I choose in the comfort of my judgment-free home, then do it in the toxicity of a church that preaches things that I don't agree with. I think people expect them to be perfect because a lot of them present themselves as such, and they're preaching one thing and they're doing another. Why didn't he just open up his own church? I think Carl was very beholden to Brian Houston because he felt like Brian Houston saved him. He went to Hillsong College over in Australia. He was able to preach. He learned how to preach, and he really lived his life with this big. It was like cook, bacon, and cake is the way I describe it. when he got the idea to put a church in New York, like I said, Carl Lentz's intentions were very good. It was just the villains that were behind him, those the evil that was behind him that he didn't realize was there, were the ones who were pulling the strings, and he was just a puppet. His ideals for Hillsong and how he wanted Hillsong to grow in naturally and organically in God's word, and to be able to pull young adults in the and make it so that it was more comfortable and palatable for them to be there, which I really respected. Um, he had good intentions, but as I said, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. And unfortunately for Carl, he was trusting in Brian Houston and those behind him that they were going to respect what he wanted to do. They were going to let him lead, when in actuality, he was just a puppet. Um, and I don't think he's necessarily disgraced. Carl can be revived as a preacher and still go on and live his life. I mean, John Gray has been caught cheating on his wife at least 3 or 4 times, and he has been able to continue pastoring and leading the flock. Nobody's left his damn church. Pastors cheat more often than not. Let me tell y'all a story. When I was a teenager in high school, I was going to a church here in Cleveland. And like my dad and I and my parents, baby John Gray was out there in the streets, honey. Had his mistress with new cars and shit. I think he bought her a Lamborghini, put her in a nice condo, was was lavishing on that bitch. She must have been giving a primo head. Anyway, um, anyways, I went to church often. My dad and my mom go to church regularly. My grandmother goes to church every Sunday. She never misses a Sunday. And I used to go to church with them. Obviously, I was underage. And so I went to church, and I was a people watcher. I like to observe, and there was always some mess going down in the church. It's not the church itself that's the problem. It's the people in the church that's the problem. And that's the only way that I can be okay with church and enjoy it. I like going to church because church is cleansing. When you go in there, you hear the people singing and preaching, and that moves you a bit. You hear the preacher, and sometimes he'll preach a sermon that um is it sounds and feels like it's directed towards you, and it's kind of like a reset. You know what I'm saying? I tend to I liked going because of that, but I stopped going to church a few years back. Some years back, actually, before my husband and I moved to Georgia, I stopped going. But anyways, I digress. So the pastor of the church was this little short man. He was light skinned, short, but he could preach really well. He had a way of captivating people. He was very charismatic. He was funny. You know, he just had a way of drawing you in to God the way that you should be, given the topic at hand. He's trying to make sure people know God and their souls are being saved. Well, his wife used to sit front row. She was a pretty lady. She used to wear this silvery lip gloss that I just hated. I hated that lip gloss so much. But she was the kind of woman that was approachable but wasn't approachable. So I would rarely go up to her and speak to her. And then there was another woman that was there that used to wear these braids, and her hair was braided all the time, and she had her hair braided in this crown, and the crown would swoop across the front of her face. The braids were swooped across the front of her face, and they wrapped around her head and into this crown on her head, and her hair was like that all the time. She never changed her hair. And I used to watch her with him all the time, and I used to get like little vibes, like something was going on between them. Child, come to find out, this lady came to church one Sunday with a ring on her hand. Now, the pastor's wife also had a ring on her hand. It was the same ring that they were wearing. They both was wearing the same ring. He had given them both the same ring. When he would go out of town to go perform, or rather to do, he would get commission to come and do sermons for different churches and all kind of stuff. So she would go with him. The crown braided lady would go with him to the to go sing as his soloist, and they would be staying in the same hotel with each other. They would be there spending time with each other, and all the time the churches assumed that she was his wife because of how they acted. They would go out to dinner in these different cities and towns, and his wife would be at home with their kids and several other church members' kids, because her daughters were, very popular in the church, because of course they was the pastor's daughters. So she'd be at home with the kids and he'd be out gallivanting with this woman, and come to find out he had been having a whole affair with her for years. He had been sleeping with her in the church for years, and this lady was flaunting her affair with the pastor in the pastor's wife's face. She would show up and sit on the front pew, and sometimes she would sit next to her, knowing that night before she had just came in from being on the road with the pastor and was sleeping with him. When I tell y'all that the church will give you some tea, honey, just sit there long enough and watch long enough, you will hear a lot of things. Okay. But yes, that happened. And because of those rumors and various other things, he ended up being put out of the church, and she ended up leaving and going with him wherever he went. And it just didn't stop there. It just went downhill from there. Like, it was just so much shit going on in these churches. It happens everywhere. It's not exclusive to just mega churches. It happens in every church. Because like I said, people are flawed. Nobody is going to be perfect. But if you have a pastor who is serious about his craft and understands what he can bring to the table in terms of preaching the word and making you understand, or at least have some understanding of God's word, then you can have a better way of pulling yourself through. But this Hillsong shit was crazy because it's backed by staunch conservative white men, and they feel superior and inferior to everyone. They do not feel like they have to answer to anything. Hillsong is bringing in $100 million a year overall of all of their churches. They're bringing in $100 million a year, and they're claiming they couldn't pay the volunteers for Hillsong because it was illegal. It's illegal to give volunteers a lump sum of money. It's not illegal, babe. It's not illegal. As a non-profit entity, you most definitely are allowed to pay people to work for your mega church. You pay your pastors, you pay them. You pay Brian Houston, like, you give him a lump sum, he gets money. You pay everybody. Like, what are you talking about? These pastors are living in these big ass $1 million homes and mansions, and you've got volunteers who are coming in here working throughout the week. They're working 40 to 60-hour weeks, and they're not making any money, and they're living in New York City. Do you know what kind of lifestyle they would be living? And there was another thing that I was questioning that I wasn't getting any answers on. And I went to Hillsong's website because I wanted to see like what their volunteer program looked like. Because I felt like they're hold on. The Hillsong Church itself, because I wanted to see what they do, like besides doing the songs and shit. Like, I was trying to figure out, like, what are you doing? Like, are you feeding people within the community? Are you helping? Are you doing anything? Because Oh, very good, Donnie. Very good. I wanted to know what they were doing. And I went to their website and I was like, I need to see what they're doing because the church that I went to, the churches that I frequented, they did missionary work. They were out there making sure there was a food bank. They made sure there was like, school drives and they would give out scholarships, $150 scholarships to kids when they would go to high school so they can buy their school supplies for the year or they would give out new book bags with like basic school supplies every year. They would do toy drives during the winter. They would do all that kind of shit. So I was just like, well, what the hell are y'all doing for y'all to have all these damn volunteers and like what are you offering? What are you giving back to the community with all this shit you're doing?
What were they trying to show you earlier?
Huh?
So what was they trying to show you earlier?
What do you mean?
Well, what is it about, dog? Or somebody trying to show you something? And then I heard something about like basketball TikTok or something like that.
Icy Brazy wanted to ask you a question about basketball TikTok, but I don't know if they're still in here.
Oh,
I don't see nothing. They say we believe children of God love God and others takes place in both home and in the church. For this reason, we seek to partner with parents and with church pastors and leaders, equipping them with great resources. True through fun experiences, meaningful music, and ministry that encourages kids to participate. We present Jesus Christ and his church in a relevant way, creating moments which children will never forget. Anyone can do what we do. The simple key is to love God, love his church, and have fun. There's a whole fucking Hillsong app. Like, I'm just asking, like, what are you offering besides just that? Like, there's no. I don't get it. I don't understand it. These motherfuckers got a store where they selling merch and shit. Like, I'm very confused. Like, I know all churches don't do missionary work. I'm just saying, like, I just need some clarity. Rico said because he was disgraced and his ass went into hiding, he's just now breaking his silence. Well, I don't consider him to be disgraced. I feel like everybody falls from grace at some point. The point is how you get back up. And if he really wanted to focus on, getting God's word out there and, really making things right, he could do what Tears has said and start his own church and do it in a way that doesn't make people feel like because they're black or female or LGBTQIA plus that they don't belong and really make it feel like everybody is welcome there. He has the chops to do it, but he's got to want to do it.
Monty Williams got hired by Detroit.
Not John Gray. He makes me laugh. I'm sorry.
That is crazy. They gave him a 6-year deal.
Who's Monty Williams?
The old head coach of the Phoenix Suns. He got hired by Detroit.
Why?
Phoenix fired him.
I wouldn't have hired him.
So Detroit picked him up, and they gave him a 6-year deal worth $72 million. But with the incentives, it can be worth $100 million.
Okay.
That is crazy for a head coach.
I mean, is it? Can they afford it?
Yeah.
Well, they're not gonna. Are they gonna fire James Harden again?
Well, James Harden plays for Philly. Well,
who hired the head coach? You said
Detroit.
You said Detroit, not
Detroit.
76ers.
Yeah.
Okay. Especially after one of his mistresses spilled the beans, and what he does sounds like, and what he does and sounds like when he orgasms. Oh, I gotta hear this. What she say? I want to know.
Did I bring up the TV downstairs?
Yeah, they're in that bag.
Oh, okay.
I want to know what he said. I want to know what she said. He said. Seriously, you gotta tell me.
That's nasty.
Very good, Donnie. I'm glad that the combo went well. Ooh, when they brought up the tax fraud and he said, "Yeah, we got you. You on Candy camera now." Child. He said, I'm still here. I'm just listening. I sent it to your DM. Okay. He finna go to sleep, so I better ask him now before his head hit that pillow. As soon as that nigga head hit the pillow, just be sleep. Child. Now he be singing and speaking in tongues. Go to hell. Ah. No, Tirza. No. You are lying to me. Baby, I think you got enough.
I didn't put that much on there. I'm just spraying. It's gel, so.
Okay, but. Oh, God. Oh, God, that's funny as hell. Uh.
This is amazing. I said, what if every playoff team could pick one player from teams they eliminate? The Miami Heat beat the Bucks and the Knicks, so they add Giannis and Jalen Brunson to their already stacked lineup. This is crazy. Nobody is gonna score. Bro, adding Embiid and Trae Young to the Boston Celtics is like adding extra cheese on your pizza. It's already good without it, but damn, if you gotta give it to me.
No, it's not.
Durant and Edwards added to an already dominant Nuggets team is crazy. And y'all know how I feel about Kevin Durant. He's the ultimate plug-and-play player. Adding Triple J and Stephen Curry to this Lakers squad, who's scoring in the paint? Bro, what? They don't even need Austin Reeves. They could play 4v5 with this lineup. Who cares? Telling me that I got to pick between one of these lineups is insanity. This is outrageously crazy. Y'all let me know who y'all rolling with down in the comments, because I don't know. Any one of these teams.
This would never work because LeBron would have to play second to Stephen Curry, and that's not gonna happen.
Anthony Davis ain't healthy enough.
And with Trae Young, he's not consistent enough. Everybody want to say that this will eat, but they're not consistent enough. And all of these guys are what quote unquote alpha males. They're not gonna play well with each other by playing second fiddle to somebody else. Somebody's got to be able to take point, and a lot of these guys.
The only lineup I can see working on
all
of that is the Heat lineup with Jimmy, Giannis.
Because Jimmy would take second and Giannis would take point.
And the way Giannis play, it fit Jimmy game perfect.
I mean, yeah, but I'm just saying, like, none of these teams would work except for the Heat team. Yep. Like, am I right though?
No, because KD now has to play second fiddle to Jokic,
and he's not gonna do that. He's not gonna do that. Like he did it when he was in Golden State, but that was because he was gonna get a ring for it. And he barely did that. Yeah. Like, no. Y'all be doing too much. Can you please do it? Okay. I'm floored that nigga be speaking in tongues. I can't believe it. No, don't do that. Stop. Stop. Stop, Jared. Don't do that. Don't do it.
That was my one. I quit.
Imagine sleeping with a dude and he be prophesizing to you mid-thrust. Rico, please. That's just gross.
You are.
No, Jared. Don't do that.
Hit you with Ernest Ameson, but give you preview parts instead.
Can I have my juice before you go to bed, please? And can you stop? I know you're feeling better now. Baby, stop it. I can't believe it. I can't. Which one you want? The apple one. Oh, I'm not saying that because that's blasphemous. I'm not saying that. Look at what he said. That's not funny. That's nasty.
That reminds me of that oh my god, I can never remember that damn zombie movie. But
Janae gonna beat y'all for taking her nickname for Gerard.
but my mother used to watch it all the time. And the priest knew martial arts. And he was fighting two of the zombies. And he was beating the zombies' ass. This was the I kick ass in the name of the Lord.
Is that Kung Fu Hustle?
No. It wasn't Kung Fu Hustle. This was a legit like zombie comedy movie. Because the main character lived with his mother. His mother got bit by, I think, a monkey.
Was it Shaun of the Dead?
Was it? I don't think so. I can never remember the name of that damn movie.
Were they British?
No.
They wasn't British and like mall cops?
I don't think. No.
Or like security? Mm-mm. It sounded like that's what it was. Jer gets it. This shit is funny. I'm the only other one other than her that be using it, so we know we cool. No, you not. No, you are not. If the other people in this chat calling him Big Brother Jer too, you only gonna answer one of y'all. And he'll never get to talk to Janae, so when I do the podcast and he hears her, he'd be real happy to talk to her. And she'll call him out, Big Brother Jer, I got my ice. Stupid. She's stupid. Anyways.
What?
Poop toots. Rod bought me a care package today. Didn't have to. I appreciate it. Thank you. I miss her too. I talk to her at least once a day though. She always sending me something. Which I appreciate. Janae's fine. Janae loves Rico. We're good. Anywho, there's been a lot of mess going on. In the socials of the medias. I'm gonna do some more current events and then I'm gonna do SBC chat. So this little white boy jumped off this cruise ship. And he is presumed to be dead. They dared this little white boy to jump over the edge of the cruise ship. And he did it. They have not found his body. Child, the socials of the medias, okay? They have not found his body. And they have called out the search. They've called off the search efforts for this little boy. And he is presumed dead. Lost at sea. Any number of things could have happened to this child. Which is a cautionary tale in peer pressure. But this child decided to listen to his friends, thinking he was a strong enough swimmer to dive off of the side of this boat into the ocean. And he was never seen again. Instead of everybody, calming down and not encouraging this child to jump off of this ship. The peer pressure got to him and he did it anyway. Of course, they went and got help. They looked for the child, they could not find him. Any number of things could have happened. He could have been swept ashore to a local island, which is far away from that boat. He could still be drifting in the water. He very well could be dead, and more than likely, he is deceased. There are underwater currents in the ocean. Underwater currents travel fast. You can't get out of them unless you're put out of them. You can't breathe because you're underwater. It doesn't take long for a human to drown in an underwater current. Any number of things could have happened to this boy. Nobody knows where he is, and they have called off the search teams and the Coast Guard, so nobody's searching for him anymore. More than likely, if he is lost at sea, his body will wash ashore somewhere, and that's going to be his final resting place if he is dead. Hopefully, he's alive and one day he'll be rescued, but the experts, they're not hopeful of that. It's a sad, sad day when you letting other people convince you to dive off a damn cruise ship. A perfectly good ship. You dive off of it. I don't understand it. Now I'm gonna do some of these on my red rum for Monday because I have a red rum set up for Monday, which I'm gonna do too. I have a bonus episode that I'm gonna do about Corey Richins and the murder of her husband Eric Richins, and then I'm gonna do the red rum stories where I give you all of the info that is happening in the news as of lately. We got about 2 or 3 weeks of red rum shit happening here. But child, there's a few stories I'm gonna get into here. It says these two Texas teens are facing felony charges after a prank involving fart spray. This fart spray prank sent a few of their classmates to the hospital and caused the school to temporarily close. According to an insider, 18-year-old and 17-year-olds, an 18-year-old and a 17-year-old were charged with possession of a prohibited weapon, a third-degree felony, after a foul-ass odor filled up the hallways of Caney Creek High School on May 3rd and May 4th. Child, I got on a cruise next week to the Bahamas. Well, don't jump off the cruise ship and you'll be fine. Police allege the students intentionally or knowingly possessed a chemical dispensing device. The school was evacuated twice due to the nasty ass smell, and 6 students were taken to the hospital due to headaches and nausea. Thankfully, the students were released on the same day. The teenagers were arrested on May 12th and released on a $3,000 bond the same day. The two could face up to 10 years in prison for the ill stinky stunt. Their arrests alleged that the fart spray was capable of causing adverse psychological and physiological effects on a human being. What kind of chemicals did y'all put in this fart spray gun, sirs? Damn. Like I say, goddamn. What was y'all out here doing? Oh, my Lord. Child, I ain't gonna bore y'all with too much shit now. I'm gonna go ahead and go to the SBC chat. I talked about Hillsong for a long ass time, child. That was a long chat, babes. So let's go to the SBC chat. All right. Let us look at the mess known as the SBC chat. Yeah? Yeah. All right, here we go. All my ladies. Uh, uh, uh. How you gonna know it when it's like this? The chemical dispensing machine got me like, does this school not know that they have a vent system only in Texas? I mean, they still have to have a machine to dispense the chemical. Like, even if it was in bomb form, it wouldn't be flowing through the school were that bad. Like, they're saying they had a machine that was dispensing this foul odor into the school. So they use the ventilation system more than likely to make it travel faster through the school, but they're saying they used a gun or of some kind to dispense the foul odor throughout the school. But let's get to the Six Brown Chicks chat, okay? Question number one. A local makeup artist connected with my daughter on Instagram and offered to do her makeup for prom. Her price was reasonable, so I hired her. The makeup artist arrives at my home pregnant as fuck and told my daughter, I gave you a discount because we're basically family. I effed your dad all over this house and I'm having his baby. Girl, husband enters the house with the food and all hell breaks loose. Prime ruined, neighbors, fam, and friends, prime well wishers, saw everything. He says he loves us, wants to keep the family together, but that he won't abandon that woman or his new baby. Girl, I know you fucking lying. This lady randomly hits up his daughter and then shows up overtly pregnant and goes into a whole speech on the daughter, though. See, this is what I don't like. Why are you involving people who didn't sleep with you, who didn't get you pregnant, and who have nothing to do with what you've been doing with this woman's husband? I know you knew this lady was married, so this is your fault while you're pregnant. You think that this is somehow going to win you the prize and that he's just going to be your man for the rest of your life. You ain't going to never have to worry about nothing because you won, she lost, you got a baby too. What he going to do now? You think that's all going to work out for you? Okay, you are crazy in your head if you think for a second that this is somehow going to save you the heartache and pain. He is going to dog your ass out. Now he may not abandon his child, but first he need to get a paternity test to prove that that's his baby. That's what I would be doing. And then I'd be trying to figure out how I can maintain my family and take care of this child too. But if I was your wife, if I was this woman that's writing this, me and my daughter and my kids, we'd be gone. We'd be getting a divorce, and he can take care of his baby on his own while he's still making sure my kids are taken care of. I wouldn't keep him from his child, but he's gonna have to learn how to integrate the siblings into the family. I don't have nothing to do with that. Okay? But I'd have been gone. I'd have got my ass up out of there. Yep. I'd have got my black ass up out of there, baby. Cause there ain't no reason to stay. He don't love you. He ain't respecting you. He not even respecting the sanctity of your marriage. And the mere fact that this bitch was bold enough to contact your daughter says a lot about her character, and I wouldn't want that hoe around me. So no, You can go and take care of your baby. You ain't gotta abandon your baby. But I won't be in the picture. I'll be like, peace. Question number two. Renee, my girlfriend of 4 years, told the cops that my drugs were hers. She did time for me, and I thought the judge would be lenient because she didn't have a record. Nope. Renee received 2 years in prison, lost her job. I visited her twice, but the ride to the prison was too long, and I met somebody else. I don't accept her prison calls, but I reply to her letters. She's getting released and expects to come back to her apartment. The landlord let me renew the lease in my name due to the circumstances, and I've been paying rent. But my new girlfriend is pregnant and she stays with me. I told her my girlfriend Renee died when we first hooked up, so she's been wearing Renee's clothes as well. How to fix things with my girlfriend when Renee returns, cause and how to genuinely let Renee know she's been replaced and her apartment is mine. Nigga, I know damn well you didn't have this girl playing the trap queen to you, and she was your girlfriend of 4 years, and she took a rap for you, and you wait and you only visit her twice in prison, and she's been in jail for almost 2 years for you, and the only thing you got for her is your apartment is now mine. My girlfriend stole your clothes. You ain't got no clothes. You ain't got no apartment. You ain't got nothing. I took all of that. So, oh, and we over. I don't want you no more. And yeah, so thank you for taking that, that rap for me. I appreciate that. But other than that, like, I'd appreciate it if you would just, go about your business and I go about mine. And my girlfriend pregnant and she wearing your clothes and shit. She really appreciate the donation and shit. Nigga, is you crazy? Now see, this is insane. First of all, I wouldn't take the rap for nobody. I'd have narked on your ass faster than I would have narked on your ass the minute the cops came into my house. I'd have been like, them is his drugs. I do not sell drugs. I'm a nurse. I don't sell drugs, bitch. I'm not into that life. I done narked on your ass from the moment, because you ain't shit. Like, the mere fact that you let her take the rap for you is craziness, in my opinion. And number two, you only visited the woman twice out of the whole 2 years that she's been there. And then you talking about you act like replying to her letters is some gift from God that you're giving her. Then on top of that, you done stole her fucking apartment. You got your new bitch wearing her fucking clothes. Nigga, is you crazy? If I was her, I'd come in there and stab your ass and that bitch. Y'all are wilding out here in these streets. Wow. This is crazy. What do you mean? How to fix things with my girlfriend? Fix things? You need to go to hell. That's the best way I can tell you to fix it. Go to hell. Go ask Judas. Go ask him. He know a thing or two about betrayal. Question number three. My husband of 3 years, a pastor, smells like fish after he works out. He says it's his diabetes that the fish smell is a common odor in diabetic men. It is not. I've not been able to find info on this anywhere. Also, concerning to me is the painful cold sore that my husband passed on to me. I popped up at the gym to work out with him, and he was in the car talking to a new female member of our church, and that car smelled like fish. Husband says that they're praying about her health challenges, and I was wrong to sneak up on them and accuse a man of God of cheating. Now, we just talked about this. These pastors are not who they think you think they are. Some of them are wolves in sheep's clothing. If you believe he cheating and he stank like he cheating, he cheating. You need to let his ass go and let him go on and drift off into the sunset with the rest of the hoes. Because your husband is a hoe. Okay? These easy today. They a little messy, but they real easy, honey. She said, "Go to hell." I can't advise too. Well, ain't nothing to advise, child. If we being honest, that was a whole funky ass mess. Question number 4. I'm 38 and my boyfriend is sexy and 22. He swears he's single, but I've been put on into a baby mama fight club. He spent the night at my apartment and several women put Apple AirTags on my car. Now I suffer random ass whoopings all over town. Attacked while getting my nails done, attacked at the Burger King drive through, wig snatched at the post office. He wants me to take self defense classes and stop embarrassing his name by losing fights everywhere. He says he can't control what others do, but I can learn to protect myself. Recently, I found out he's planning the fights and has guys filming and uploading the fight videos to his channel. I'm healing, but also mad as fuck. Leaving him is not an option because I don't want the hood rats to win. Advice, bitch, they winning by whooping your ass. Girl, is you crazy? Is you out of your mind? The nigga is putting air tags on your car so these hoes can come beat your ass every time you go outside your house. And you talking about you leaving him is not an option because the hood rats aren't gonna win. Bitch, you dating a hood rat. What the? I tell you what. I tell you what you do. Okay, okay. Who? I tell you what. You mad? So why don't you whoop his ass? Why don't you take his phone and plan and coordinate a fight with his boys to come and film it? And you tell him you want to take him out to a nice dinner, delete those text messages that you sent to his boys, or reroute those text messages to your phone. Mm-hmm. Make it look like the phone number is his number. Y'all know how to do that shit. Go Google it. Go Google it. Reroute the text messages so they go to your phone. And then what you do is you take your boyfriend where to the location that is planned, and you get out the car and you mace his punk ass and you whoop his ass in the middle of the street. And then you have his boys film that shit. And you mace they bitch asses too and take all their phones and then upload it to his channel. See how he like that? Cause ain't no fucking way. That don't make no goddamn sense. An AirTag is an Apple tracker. Planning fights, you're about to be unalived for real. Girl, like a location drop. It's a tracker. It's a tracker that Apple creates specifically for you to track with iPhones. Um, yeah, just go just do what I'm telling you. Plan the ass whooping and whoop his ass. And have his friends film it. Or get one of your friends to film it. That way you ain't gotta worry about it. And then you can upload it to your channel and you can make sure he get his ass whooped everywhere y'all go. What you do is when you get out the car, you put the ski mask on and you beat his ass or have your friends beat his ass. And then you go around and pretend like you helping him and run them off. And you just like, baby, you okay? He be like, man, I just got my ass whooped. And every time y'all go somewhere, have your friends attack him and whoop his ass. See how he like it. And you upload that shit to YouTube and make some money. Question number 5. My father-in-law moved in with us after my mother-in-law kicked him out for cheating. And I overheard him tell my husband, I wish I did things differently. They'll seduce you with food, sex, and then one day you realize your whole identity is gone. You're just a mist in the breeze. Get out of this. She'll steal your life and you won't recognize yourself anymore. And my husband has been spending time with his dad, strip clubs and bars, and treating me differently. Advice, leave his ass. Leave him. Leave his ass where you found him. Let me tell you something. Anytime a man will listen to a bum like that, that bum is trying to get him out of something healthy and happy because he's jealous of what he has. He don't want to be miserable by himself. Misery loves company. So he's trying to ruin everything that his son has, despite the fact that his son is happy in a healthy relationship. He don't care. Now he done turned his son against you, and he wants y'all to be living this bachelor life because they always think that the grass is greener on the other side. Ain't nobody stole your identity. You are the one who didn't keep your identity. That was you. Shit happens when you get married. You get into a routine, you start to live life as it is, but that doesn't mean that you losing yourself because of this person. You lost yourself because of you. And if that's the case, it's all kinds of ways to find yourself not in between another woman's legs. But here you are fucking up your son's relationship so you can justify your own behavior and make it seem like you're not the only one who's unhappy. In the end, when it all falls down and the chips are down in the dirt, and both of y'all are single, living with each other in a bachelor pad that you can barely afford, and y'all still got to pay y'all wives spousal support and child support, you'll remember the days when she was laying next to you and you was sick, throwing up in a bucket, and she was cleaning up your throw up and rubbing your back and keeping you sane and cooking your dinners and making sure you was all right. You remember the days when you lost your job and she held you down trying to help you make sure you stayed up. You're going to remember the days when y'all was in the house and it was quiet and you just laughing and joking and having a good time. Them days is going to be the ones that you remember. But instead, now you only worried about hoes and strip clubs. And if that's what you want, that's fine. But you're always going to be looking at the grass on the other side. It's always going to look greener when you about a mile or two away. When you walk up on that grass and it's dead, brown, and easily to catch fire, you're gonna wish you was back at that well. Okay? But if I was you, home girl, I'd leave his ass right where his daddy dropped his ass. Mm-hmm. Question number 6 is the final question of the night. Question number 6. I recently had hip surgery. My girlfriend's my girlfriend, 6 years, one son, suggested that she's opening the relationship to other men who can do things I can't do no more. I told her hell no. And I wouldn't respect her if she cheated. Her. You can't say no. You didn't marry me. So I'm informing you that I'm seeing others and not seeking permission. I'll never recover from this combo. How to stop her? Now, this one is a little bit tricky. This one is a little bit. This one's a little bit tricky though. It's a little bit tricky, just a little bit. Okay. So sis says you didn't marry me, and I'm just letting you know that I'm going to see other people, and I ain't asking you for permission. I'm doing it. Now you laid up because you done had sick hip surgery. Now in sis defense, y'all been together 6 years and y'all got a child and you ain't never even considered popping the question. I can understand how she would feel that way. On the other hand, having forcing the relationship to be open is childish in my opinion. You know he's not going to go for that. And I know this is your way of testing him or whatever, but in reality, you could just tell him what you want. If he's not giving you what you want, why don't you just leave? Why are you trying to have your cake and eat it too? On the other hand, I understand where sis coming from. Well, your ass is laid up and your hip broke right now. I can't get nothing from you. It's gonna be some months before that rickety ass hip of yours heal. And even then, I gotta wait until you are ready and prepared to do all of that. So I don't know if I want to wait all that time. And why wait when I can have my man that I talk to and I love, and then I can have another person give me all the physical shit that I want. It's a win-win situation here, at least in one person's eyes. Now, homeboy says he ain't gonna respect her if she cheats. I mean, fair. I ain't mad at him because that is cheating because he is not agreeing to the open relationship. But there's nothing he can do. It's kind of fucked up because there's nothing he can do. His hip is broke. His hip is still healing from the surgery. He can't go anywhere. She's got him locked into a corner. So there's nothing that he can do. except watch his girlfriend go on dates with other dudes and fuck other dudes, which is absolutely horrific. That has got to be the most emasculating thing I've ever heard and possibly seen in my life. That's craziness to me. I most definitely would not do that. And yeah, I would simply just not do that. Okay? I would not do that. But live your life though, whatever works for you. I hope you don't cheat on your boyfriend. I hope you really do leave leave your boyfriend and go about your business and find somebody who you really want to be with instead of doing all this drama and bullshit. Homeboy with the crooked hip, I don't know what to tell you. It seemed like sis is dead set on sleeping with who she's sleeping with. I don't know. I don't know, babe. It sounds like you in trouble. So that's it for the SBC chat. That's all we got. We ain't got no more. So I appreciate y'all for coming in here. We talked about some current events today, which was fun. Some of them was real sad. Others were a bit more interesting topics of conversation. I'll try to do those more often. There wasn't really a lot going on with wrestling as of right now, so we gave it about an hour. I asked the audience what they wanted to talk about. Y'all gave me some suggestions, and that's where I left it. Now, like I always do, I'm going to end this show and let y'all know what is going to happen in the next couple of weeks. It's very wild, Aaliyah, very wild when it comes to wrestling. Please don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to share this video. It really helps me to get more people on my channel and get my views up. Okay? So there's a few PLEs coming by next month. Okay? Next month is July. And we have 2 PLEs scheduled to go. Money in the Bank is the first one. It's going to be on Saturday, June 1st, and they're going to be in Mario, London. And then on the 30th of July, on a Sunday, we've got the Great American Bash, and it's going to be in good old Cedar Park, Texas. And that's also going to be on a Sunday, like I said, and you're going to have some really cool matches in there. And then the big kahuna, one of the big 5, is going to Detroit. SummerSlam Detroit is August 5th, and it is going to be at Ford Field, and it's going to be a doozy. We are still waiting to see how SummerSlam is going to shape up. Obviously, we're still waiting to see how Money in the Bank is going to shape up. We've got new champions across the WWE. New feuds are budding and coming alive. I guess we'll have to wait and see how it's all going to play out. But Friday, we're getting 2 qualifying matches, one with Vega and Evans, the other one with Montez Ford and LA Knight. And of course, Roman Reigns is going to be celebrating his 1,000 days as champion. With all that being said, thank y'all so much for listening. I will see you guys in my next one. The outro is coming up. And as I said before, please don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you in my next one. Thank y'all so much for being here. And I appreciate every single one of you guys for being a part of my show. Please be sure to check out my wrestling podcast, Down for the Count, with my girls. And of course, the personal podcast with the entertainment, pop culture, and news of the KTT podcast. Like I said before, we have pop culture that we just love to talk about. Okay, pop culture includes any and all celebrity news. I have the Red Rum True Crime series where I talk about all of the stories in the news that have to do with murder and anything very, very high profile in terms of murder. And of course, we have Am I the Asshole Fridays and Twitter stories. That includes my personal recap of the SBC chat and of course some Reddit Am I the Asshole stories that need my advice, honey, because I just love to talk. So if you love me, please do me a favor, run on over there and follow both of my podcasts, because the wrestling podcast is where it's at when it comes to the wrestling. The girls always got it handled on that front, But y'all, my other podcast is my personal baby, and I really want it to pop off. So go over there and follow both of them. They're both available on Spotify. And don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in our next one. Bye.